One of my favorite tricks when making digital stickers is creating stamps, and the reason for that is it makes creating stickers so much quicker. So if you recall, in an earlier video I showed you how to download these free planner stamp stickers where you simply pick the shape you want, tap on your screen, and then that shape appears. I've used this to make so many stickers easily because then you can decorate and add more to them afterwards. I also showed in another video these floral stamps that I actually have for sale on my Etsy shop, which I will link below. And I also make myself stamps that I can easily reuse in different sticker sets, like this banner or this checkbox. Today, I'm going to walk you through how I make these stamp brushes. It's much easier than you would expect, and once you have that stamp saved, you can use it over and over again whenever you're making your digital stickers. So let's start by creating a new canvas. We're going to hit the plus sign and then choose square. Eventually, we're actually going to flip the colors of our image so it has a dark background with white drawings. However, when I'm creating my pattern, I actually prefer to do the reverse of that, which means having a white background with black lines. Now remember, a stamp is just one color, though you can change the opacity within it, which I will show you in a minute. So we're going to start by drawing out what we want our stamp to look like. Any brush, as long as you're working with black, is going to work. And I think with modern rainbows being so trendy right now, I'm going to create some sort of modern rainbow. As you're creating your stamp, the only thing you need to make sure you're doing is sticking with one color. You can use whatever brushes you want. You can make it as big or as small within the canvas as you want. You can use as many layers as you want. All of that we're going to change in format in the end. The only important thing is that you're focusing in around one color. I'm going to put this little heart on the inside, and you'll notice even though I have black selected, it actually looks kind of gray, and the reason for that is the opacity on the black is turned down. So I could go into this layer and turn that opacity back up, but I'm going to leave it down because that'll actually show up in my final brush when I create that. Alright, so we're putting the final details on what I want my stamp to look like, and then it's time to start formatting it and getting it ready to turn into a stamp. So the first thing I want to do is merge together all my drawn layers so that it is one layer only. Then I'm going to put a layer on top and a layer below my drawing. And this is because I need to reverse the colors. So to do that, I'm going to start with my layer on top, and I'm actually going to just turn this layer white. And now I can turn it into a clipping mask. And you can't tell because everything in my canvas is white right now, but what I've done is I've turned that rainbow design into a white rainbow design. Now I'm going to go to this bottom layer and turn this layer black. And so now I've essentially reversed my original drawing. Now when you're creating your actual stamp, you need a single layer. So usually what I like to do is pinch them all together in a single layer. However, once you do that, it's hard to edit different elements. So before I pinch it together, I'm going to pinch together just the white clipping mask and my rainbow, duplicate my rainbow, and then turn off one of my rainbow layers. And this gives me one layer that has both the rainbow and the background color, as well as one layer with the rainbow in case I need to make changes later on. And now we're ready to make our brush. So I'm going to tap on that layer that has the background color in it and click copy. Then I'm going to go up to my brushes. Over on the left, you'll have your broader categories for brushes, and on the right is where your brushes actually are located. So if this is the first stamp you've ever made, you can actually go to the left and add a new brush library by simply clicking the blue plus sign. From there, you can title it whatever you want. So I could name this one Rainbow. And now I have a library where I could put all the different rainbow stamps that I make. If you have a library you want to add it to already, simply click on the plus in that library. So here are some that I already have. I'm going to click on that plus. And then you're brought to a new brush with some automatic presets built in. On the right, you have kind of a sample canvas. You can clear it and change the color, and really this is just like a testing ground. As you make a brush, you can test it in different colors and see what it looks like. So right now it's pretty much a standard monoline brush, and we're going to turn this into our stamp. So to do that, we have a few different things we need to do. The first is change the shape. So right now, if you just tap your brush, it's a circle. we want to change that shape into the rainbow. Once I'm in shape, I want to click Edit and then Import, and under Import we have a paste option. Once I click paste, you'll see there's my rainbow, and now I can click done. So now the shape of my brush is a rainbow. However, you'll notice a few things are very wrong with it. The first is when I brush it like this, it still kind of looks like a brush just with a little bit of a funny beginning and end. The other thing you'll notice is as I try to stamp it, you see all these different opacities, and sometimes you end up with 3 or 4 of the stamps, so we still have some editing to do to our brush. So the next thing we want to do is go to stroke path. And one of these options is spacing. I turn my spacing all the way up, and what that means is as you drag your pen across the canvas, it's not going to put a whole bunch of whatever your shape is in a row. So you're kind of turning it into a little bit of a stamp, but we still need to adjust some more settings. Next I go down to Apple Pencil, and here I'm going to look at the opacity because you'll notice that it's not consistent when I touch. So I'm actually going to take the opacity and turn it all the way down. And if you look at my little sample pad, you can see that now every single time I tap my pencil, it always is going to be the same amount of darkness. Next, I want to go to Properties. Under Properties, you have the ability to adjust the size of your stamp. And this changes how big and small you can make it. I have found that usually somewhere around 550% works good for my maximum, and for my minimum, usually around 100%. But this is something you can play with to discover what you like. So before I change my last few settings, let's click done just to check out what's going on. And I'm going to go back to a blank canvas to try out this brush. So I see there's the brush I just created. It does look a little funny there, and we're going to fix that in a minute. But now I can adjust the size so I can see there's the biggest version of it and all the way down to the smallest version of it. So those look like a pretty good range for me. And of course, a stamp can be selected just like any other piece of writing or drawing in Procreate, and you can shrink or resize it. So I've always found that that range of 100% to 550% seems to work best. So we're going to go in and edit just one more thing because we want the preview to look like a stamp. So anytime you want to go back into a brush you already started, you're going to click on this little squiggly line next to the brush. And what I want to do is turn on where it says Stamp Preview. So I want to toggle over the Use Stamp Preview. And what that does is instead of showing the path of your brush, it shows the shape of your brush. You can then adjust this preview setting, and that just shrinks or expands the picture within the brush. So those are just kind of making it look good within your brush library. And now I can tell what my brush is. I can go in and grab it and use it whenever I want. A stamp is always going to be a single color. However, once you do your stamp, that doesn't mean that you can't go in and play around with and adjust the colors and the settings. On an image like this, it's super easy just to drag and drop and fill areas, but when you have more complicated images, one of your options is actually to come in, create a layer on top of it, and color the parts that you want to eventually turn that color and use as a clipping mask. We can apply this concept to create simple planner sticker templates that we can use over and over again. So I'm going to quickly draw out a basic kind of notepad that I want to turn into a stamp that I want to use again and again. Now, just like last time, I'm going to add a layer above and below so that I can turn my image white and create a black background. Remember, the image that you want to actually copy and paste for your brush needs to be a fully colored in image with a white outline and a black background. If you did it reverse, it's going to change how the stamp would work because it would be a reverse image, which you don't want to do. From there, just like last time, we're going to copy the layer. I'm going to go into my brushes, add a new brush, and we're going to change the same settings as before. So we're going to edit the shape, paste what we just created. We're going to go and change our spacing so that it is at 100%. We're going to bring the opacity down to 0, turn on our stamp preview, and change the size of our brush. What's fantastic about creating stamps like this is you can now use the different colors of a sticker set you're creating, and it is literally a 4-second sticker. We can also add in some more pieces to this. So if I add a new layer on top, I'm still going to grab my white, and let's turn this into, I'm going to grab my monoline brush again, and just add some lines to it so it's a little lined piece of paper. So I could leave this layer just like this and have a lined little notepad, but I can also click on this N and bring the opacity down so that the lines don't stand out as much as the outline of my notepad. And then again, merge it all together so I've got a single layer with the drawing and the background. And then we're going to copy this stamp and we're going to go through the exact same steps again. And now we can test it out, and you can see those lines are there, but they're much more faded and less pronounced on our little stamp. So once I have a color palette for a sticker set, I could easily put this little banner in each of the colors. I can also use this stamp to turn it into a cute little header. So I might want to add on top of it something like weekend. In my last video, I showed you how to price your sticker sets as well as other digital products by looking at what others are selling them for on Etsy, and we noticed how many sellers had hundreds of stickers in a single set. Creating stamps that you can use over and over again is a great selling technique in order to build out your sticker sets without taking a whole lot of time. I can't wait to see if it helps you when you're creating your digital stickers.